No, but what I'm
right?
saying to you, sir, according to a scripture, right? A lot of people put in and a lot of people talk out, right? But if the Bible says a lie is a lie, right?
Right.
Is a lie, all right? But if somebody says I'm a liar and I'm telling the truth, that's their point of view, right? If I say something and a person says something else, I don't get any pleasure at approving somebody that's lying on me. I'd rather have them tell the truth because my last alternative is to show a person their lie. All right, that's one of the reasons why I stopped acting like a liar. Because remember, when I lied as an actor. We all do it as actors. Okay, we're acting. It's a lie. Like when we tell a joke, it's a lie. It's still a lie.
Well, I think the difference with an actor is they're storytellers, right?
That's what
So a
I.
storyteller to me is different. I mean, when you think of Hollywood and you think of a famous actor, those are storytellers, right? That's what they get paid to do. That's their job. But to me, there's a difference when you're telling a lie, um, and you're saying that you did X, Y, Z, and then it comes out that you didn't. You see what
Oh,
I'm saying?
yeah, this spin with that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm a storyteller, right? I'm a internet entertainer. I'm all those things to whoever receives it, right? But if a person says I'm lying, but I'm showing them the truth, but they still say it's a lie, it's up to them because it's how they receive it. You see? So I'm going to prove a point. Let me prove a point. The person that was here, is he still here or did he leave?
No, it looks like he dropped. You can
Right.
add somebody else up.
All right. Because let me show you something. When a person calls you a liar, right? In certain countries, they'll kill you. You know that, right?
I've heard of things like that. I mean, if you steal something in different parts of the world, they'll beat you with rocks.
No.
I've heard
About if you lie,
bits and pieces of stuff like that.
you know what I'm saying? In
I
certain,
don't know it for 100% though, so I can't speak
yeah.
to it and say that I know.
And she'll tell you what country. Alexa, what country that you lied in will kill you?
I'm not sure.
All right. Alexa, do you know any countries that kill people for lying?
Sorry, I'm not sure.
All right. She doesn't know, but I might have to Google it. But I was surprised to hear that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute. Alexa, what country do you go to jail for lying?
Here is an answer from an Alexa Answers contributor that I translated. There are 71 countries in which it is punished 14 years. In Mauritania, Sudan, Iran, Yemen, and Saudi Arabia, capital execution still exists.
See?
But see, that's the same here though. I mean, here in the U.S., right? We both live in the U.S. I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
just about everybody does. But that being said, I mean, you can go to prison here lying under oath, or if you're in a criminal case and you're
Mm-hmm.
sworn in, and I mean, if you lie about it, I mean, that's perjury, right? So I mean, you can that's you can that can happen anywhere, right?
Oh,
But I think what a lot of these people, from what I'm hearing, and I'm trying to help, because the other young man that was in here, he said, you're lying about this, that, or the third, or whatever the case may be, right?
mm-hmm.
And I couldn't really hear it because I'm driving. I'm a truck driver, so I got my headset on, so it is hands free. But I guess what I'm saying is these people are saying that you're a liar, or you lied about this, you lied about that, blah blah blah, right? And if you know that you've lied about X, Y, or Z, or whatever the case may be, or maybe what they're referring to, I think part of what would help is if you owned up to whatever it is that they're. So let's say, as an example, you said you were a fighter, and they say no, we found out that you weren't. If you know you weren't, versus keeping it a guessing game and having multiple people investigate the same thing and come up here and harass you, maybe the better thing would be to say, you know what, guys, that was a time when I was in my storytelling days, or when I was choosing to purposely lie, to where that way you can push it behind you and hopefully move forward, right? But if we're constantly avoiding answering the question, not addressing the issue, it's gonna be the same thing every single day. And I'm sure you get irritated and frustrated every time you come up. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, this is just from observation that you get upset because they're asking the same thing. Because I notice sometimes you'll just randomly shut the live down, where other times,
No, what,
you'll exit peacefully.
no, what happens is that's why I tell people to hurry up, is because I have a battery. I don't know if you can see it. Let me show it to you. Are you able to see it?
No, all I see is your green screen.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I have a battery, and the battery lasts for a certain amount of time. And once the battery dies, it just shuts off. That's why I tell people, okay, I see that red thing, so hurry up before it goes through. But what I'm saying at
Right.
the moment is that,
Excuse me, Mr. Randall.
1 second, please. What I'm basically saying at this moment, when he was talking about the church, right? And he said what he said, I told the truth. And that's what I was saying. I never received a letter. Even though a person said you did receive the letter, right? I never received it. You see what I'm saying? So,
No, no, and I can understand that one, right? But I'm referring more towards, like, I've heard multiple people say, right, and I don't just go based on what one person say. Again, as I gave you the scenario, being a owner of a company, right? But what I'm saying is, when people say that you lied about being an auxiliary officer, you lied about
wait,
being in the
wait,
military, you lied about this, you lied about that.
I
Um,
second.
some of those things you have to address, right?
No,
And if you know you lied, then you own up to that. You see what
wait,
I'm saying?
sir. Let's go for that. I told everybody, right? People just didn't listen. I told everybody I work for the Army, right? Army and Navy. They didn't hear that part. I said I work for Old Navy, right? And I said I got some pants and shirts. If you look at the video, I told people I was a Marine sardine. Okay? I told that to people. And I said, remember, I'm an entertainer. You see? So if people don't get it, it's a lot of actors,
Well,
it's a lot of actors.
part of that though is that people come in your live at different times, right?
That's why it's,
So I think that part of what you should be doing would be, if your whole gig is I don't lie, I'm a storyteller, which was a reference that I use for people that make movies and work and make millions of dollars in Hollywood, right?
mm,
Um, if that's what you're going with, then that should be something that is you know on your green screen as an example, right? Versus it being something that's supposed to be funny. I'm a liar. That's a little bit different, right? Because you got people that are constantly jumping in and out of this thing, and they hear I'm an FBI agent. I can find out whatever I want about you, or
mm,
whatever the case may be, right? And then people see that, okay, things aren't adding up. They look into it and they figure out, okay, well, what he said was not true, and it was a crock of BS, right? So, and then you never own up to it, and then when they do say something to you about it, you never you just avert from it. You avoid the conversation completely. You don't want to hear it. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, see, but what I'm saying to you guys is this. If a person says something, right, and I give them an answer, right, that's the answer. I mean, like a person said I didn't graduate from high school. There's a lot of people on TikTok that I trust, right? And I trust
Right.
on bigo. I showed my high school diploma, right? I already showed that. I just don't want people to take a picture of it, take their name, and put their name on it. You see them?
Right.
So I do it real fast, but there's a lot of people who know me saw it. The same thing that you have people that saw me in full uniform as an auxiliary police officer. All right. But I don't go around showing a lot of people a picture because I did a lot of arrests. You see what I'm saying? But there's people out there that know, in real life, I was an auxiliary. It's like when the police department came to my house and all that. People say X, Y, Z, but I told the truth on that. Even though people don't believe it. See, people rather believe I was a security guard than an auxiliary police officer. You see what I'm saying? Because of what they believe. You see what I'm saying? Oh, he can be a Boy Scout, but he can't be in the Army. This is their belief system. But if I say something and I prove it, it's only to the people it matter, the proof. Because once I say what I say, you got to do the investigation. And then the question comes.
Right, but even when they take the time out of their lives from their family to investigate it, which I mean personally I don't do. I mean I
Mhm,
just hear out what other people are saying, right? Nothing. I mean if they want to do that, that's more power to them. But I guess the people that do take time out of their day, that actually spend the time to email whoever they got to email or go to
mhm,
wherever they're going to get the information, even when they come to you in regards to it, you don't want to hear it. There was a young lady that was up here yesterday, and she was saying that your brother was the officer or whatever it was, and that she had contacted them, but she was at work,
mhm,
and so she couldn't show you right then and there.
mhm.
And I noticed that you used that opportunity when she said that she didn't have it right in front of her because she was at work or driving or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
You used that because she couldn't show you right then and there, and you try to make her out to be the clown,
I
right? When in
believe.
actuality, she could have the proof,
Okay.
right? But instead of you saying, okay, well, when I come up later, why don't you send me a message and
No,
we'll come up and then you show everybody,
no.
right? Instead,
Told her.
your response was, no, your response, you try to clown her.
No.
And
So
then at that point, that's when she got silly and was like, well, you stole the valor, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But she didn't start responding that way until you started to
no.
respond that
But what
way,
I'm saying to you,
which is called a cause and effect,
all right.
right?
What I'm saying to you is this. I told her when she gets it, right? Send it to me so we can all look at it. Now the reason why I said that because what she said was a lie. You see what I'm saying? When I said I was an auxiliary police officer, right?
Right,
I can get in a lot of trouble for saying I'm an auxiliary police officer if I wasn't. That's a person, an or officer. You see,
right.
give me some credit for something. So if it ever comes down to a point where I have to prove it, I would have to prove it. But people know on TikTok because I showed them, my friends that know who I am. And this is no lie. You see what I'm saying? So that's why when she said probably my brother, this is something everybody does. Oh, his brother, his brother, his brother. They always bring up my family members. And I always tell people, just keep our family members out of it. You know, you're talking about me, talk about me, but they love bringing up, oh, his other brother, oh, his sister, da 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 da. But I always tell
But
people,
here's the thing, though. If I wasn't, let's say that people on here was saying that, oh, Big Trucking
Mr.
was in
Randall,
prison for 40
excuse me.
years. I'm
He's
sorry.
given too much information. We can't keep up. He's given us too much.
1 second, sis, please. So what I'm saying to you, I need you to understand, light stuff, I don't have a problem showing people. But things that can cause me to lose my life, I have a problem doing it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Showing somebody you used to be an auxiliary police officer opens up the door for your life to get taken. A lot of people don't like cops. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's a
So,
difference there, but I follow what you're saying.
all right, now here go the other thing. Showing somebody I graduated from high school, you know, is no issue. You see what I'm saying? That's not an issue. All right. But what I'm saying is certain things that people ask you to show is more judgmental than anything else. You can put yourself out there for people to cause a lot of problems.
But see, the when I said I kind of see what you're saying, I want to clarify that. I typically people that have served in the military or served in the police force or whatever part of government, they typically wear that as like a badge of honor. So I guess I don't understand when you say that that makes you a threat
No, that's
if you were to show that proof.
no, you're not understanding. It makes me a target, not a threat, a target. All right. See, that's what you got to remember. If you put people in jail, all right, you always have the generation of the son, the other son, da 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 da. So certain doors that are closed, you don't want them open. That's all I'm saying. You know, I turn around and I do this, and next thing I know, I got people knocking on my door talking about, oh, you remember my brother? Da 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 da. So that's what I'm saying. When people ask to prove things, right? Let it be things that it's something that's not going to be so judgmental. All right. A person that was in the military, right? He carries a sidearm. I don't have one. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right. Okay. So let me ask you this: if
yeah.
you feel like you showing proof that you were an officer, right?
Huh?
Okay. If you feel that way, then why did you put that in the public eye
I
on
never,
social media? Because you wore it as like a badge of honor.
no, no, what I
I mean,
said,
I remember when you started posting the pictures that looked like they were photoshopped. Maybe
no,
they weren't.
I did.
Um,
Remember, I said somebody did that. I always said this, I didn't do this. Because if you look at it, it's something missing. Somebody did that. All right. I never said that was me. What they did is they Photoshop. But what was missing is the handcuffs. The only thing they said they had a radio. You see all that stuff? So a lot of times when I say things, people make pictures and they disguise my voice or make it my voice. But I never said that was me. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. A lot of people do that. They do that. So what I'm basically saying, as a person answers you a question, right, is a boundary. And that's what I'm trying to do nowadays is just to show people this is a boundary. You're asking me this, but you're not sharing with me. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to ask
well,
me,
it's your platform though, so that would be a little bit different, right? So, like
no, it's
as an example, people come on here to watch you to hear what you have to say. Some of it may be for the wrong reasons. I don't know, right?
mhm,
But at the same time, you open yourself up to this, right? So that's like if I start a TikTok, I invite people into my life, and based on what I post, if I disclose the fact that I'm a ex-military or I was a police officer, and I post pictures of it. I know you said you didn't, right?
mhm.
But I think at some point you did. But regardless of that, you open that door, right? Because I've gone on plenty of people's lives and they're not disclosing everything in their life. I mean, I've seen people that have like little storefronts and their kids are in the background. They make sure they keep their kids out of the screen,
Mhm.
right? Because they want to protect their privacy,
Yeah.
right? And I think that part of it is that you have just opened yourself up. And so, now that people are looking into it and they're finding out that things aren't right, the issue now is that they found out that it's not right, that you lied about it, and then you're not willing to confess and own up to what you told a lie about, right?
All
You
right.
just having a little disclaimer and saying, "Oh, well, I'm known to be a liar or liar this or liar that, or I'm the liar." That's just a way to brush it off. Essentially, is what you're trying to do instead of owning up as a man to your mistakes.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm doing at this moment. If people are asking me a question, right, and they're saying certain things are more easier for me to give out, all right, than certain things are not easy to give out. And as for, as I said before, that's a judgment call. So when a person says something, I'm responsible for what I say, right? If somebody questions me and I say, okay, we're not going to talk about that at this moment because I don't know you well enough. You see what I'm saying? But if somebody says something and they have it a proof, and I know it's not proof, right? And I let them do what they want to do. But it's a certain amount of
Right, but 90% of the people that come up here, again, you can't say that out of the 1.2 thousand people that you got in here, you can't say that all these people that come up here and repeat